everyone, this is Larry with Today I Feel Like. Well, Google has done it again. They've come out with a new series of Pixel phones, and it looks like I will not be getting a Pixel again this year. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's disappointing. I was really looking forward to daily driving a Pixel Fold this year, and it just doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Let me tell you why. Let's jump into it. Here we go. Now, I have been using foldable phones for the last, I don't know, it feels like forever now. I mean, I think I got the first Samsung, I think my first one was a Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3, and then I got the 4, then the 5, and the 6, and the 7, and now I have the 8, which is a fantastic little phone. And along the way, I have been wanting to try the Pixel Fold series, and I just haven't yet. And largely, it was because of the trade values in the past. So with Samsung, if you have a Samsung phone, if you have a flagship phone or even just a regular phone, they gave you excellent trade values. I mean, for me, the Z Fold 8, I have a Z Fold 7, they're giving me $1,200 of trade value towards this phone. So this is a very expensive phone. I got the 1 terabyte version, so it's a little bit more than the baseline. But that $1,200 plus an extra discount for veterans and another additional $100 off and another, I think, $300, I'm only paying a few $100 or something for the phone. I'm saving more than I'm actually spending on the phone. That has never really been the case with Google. With Google, whenever I would go to buy their phones or look up pricing them, it was always that the trade values they would give you for phones was just extremely low. So, for instance, this is the S25 Ultra. I shouldn't say always, because there was a time when they gave great value, but this is the S25 Ultra. If I was to go trade this in, when I went to go trade this phone in last year, I think they were only going to offer me like $400 for it, for trade value. That's just not going to happen, ever. I'm not going to trade that phone in for $400. I will keep it and use it for something else before I do that. But if I was to go trade this phone in today towards a Z Fold 8 or something, they're giving me $900. Now, mind you, this phone is a year older than it was. Last year, they would have given me, I think, $1,000. Now they're giving me $900 if I was to trade it in. So, yeah, the trade value was always one of the things with the Google Pixels that kept me from sort of jumping right in. But then last year, I was like, you know, I really kind of want to do this, and I was pretty much determined last year. I was like, all right, I'm going to figure out a way to make this happen. Now, mind you, these phones are expensive, so I didn't want to finance it with a carrier or anything. I just wanted to figure out a way to get it and not break the bank. And again, I just couldn't make it happen. And part of it was last year was the trade values, but also part of it was too, they just didn't really do much of an upgrade from the Pixel Fold Pro Fold 9. So from the 9 to the 10, it was very incremental. And this year, with the 11, again, it is very incremental. And when you're paying that much money, you're kind of like, I want more of an update, more of a hardware update. And the reason for that is that Google does so much with their software to make their phones great that my thought is, well, why even bother buying an 11 when I can just buy, say, a 10 or even a 9 and get all the software updates that are going to make the phone just as good and robust as if I had bought the 11. Let's quickly jump in. I'm going to show you over here. I'm going to go into GSM Arena, and I'm going to show you their comparison tool so we can take a quick look. So we can see here we have the Google Pixel 11 Pro Fold, the Google Pixel 10 Pro Fold, and the Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold. And these are the prices currently today. So you have $839, $1,171, and $1,898. So yeah, expensive phones. But then when we come down here and we look at what we're getting here, they're all, I mean, first off, we can see they look exactly the same. They all look the same. They have not changed the body style since. Now, some have said the 11's a little bit thinner maybe, but they all look exactly the same. I would challenge you to tell the difference between them if you put them side by side. And you can see them right here. They look the same. So when we look on here, we can see that this year the 11 is a bit lighter. We can see there that it was 257 for the 9, 258 grams for the 10, and now 239 for the 11. Still heavier than the Samsung series, but they are getting lighter. And they still looks like they still offer the Nano SIM and the eSIM, which I appreciate because there are other Pixel models like the Pro and the Pro XL. They got rid of the SIM cards, which is just something I hate. I do not want that. I want a physical SIM card in my phones. And that is something that has started to become a deal breaker for me with certain phones. But when we come down here again, we'll see some specs have gotten better. 1600 nits for the 9, 1800 for the 10, 2000 for the 11. So they are getting brighter, which is nice. But everything else, when you look at this, pixel density and all that stuff, it's all pretty much the same. OLED, 120 hertz, all that good stuff. Pretty much the same size. You'll see here, this one says 6.3, 6.4, 6.5. So they've gotten rid of the bezels a little bit. They've thinned out the bezels some, but the phone is basically still the same size. We can see we're still going to get the 7 years or 7 major OS updates. So you can see what they launched with 14, 16, and then 17, but you're going to get 7 major OS updates. So you're still going to be able to get all those great features that you would get on the newer phones, on the older phones, because they're going to push those out. And that's going to be fantastic for Pixel owners. Now, that's one of those things that really, to me, says there's no need to buy the latest and greatest phone from a Pixel because so much of what makes their phones great is the software and not the hardware. And if the software is what's making your phone great, well, I don't need to buy the latest hardware to get the latest software. And so why pay the extra money for the latest hardware? We can see here again, when we look at the cameras, we're looking at pretty much the same. I mean, we're getting the same 48 megapixels, the same 10 for the telephoto. I mean, everything is looking so similar that there's just not much of a difference to justify the price. And when I talk about a price difference, there is a big difference. I mean, if we come back up here and look, we're talking about a price difference of over $1,000 between the 9 and the 11. That's just 2 years. I mean, we're talking about a price difference here of over $700 between this year and last year. I mean, you're talking about right here, essentially $1,900, where here you have $1,171. I mean, you're talking about a big price gap for not any real significant hardware improvements. I mean, look, there's just nothing there in the way of hardware that justifies that rise in price. It just doesn't make any sense. In fact, if we look at the battery from last year, we have a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, and this year they've dropped it down to 4806. Now, mind you, there have been people saying, yes, that they have improved the efficiencies with the chip, and so basically you're going to get the same battery life as you did last year, this year, with a smaller battery. But the fact of the matter is they are reducing the battery capacity. What I understand is if you've increased and improved the efficiencies, why not just keep the battery the same so we just get longer battery life? I mean, I would love to have a more efficient system and the same big battery so that if I was before getting 24 hours, now maybe I get 28 hours or 29 hours. I don't think you need to shrink the battery size to keep the battery life the same and with a smaller battery. Just give me the same larger battery with better efficiencies. Anyways, the wired, there is a little bit of a difference in the wired charging or the wireless charging. You can see here that you're still going to get the magnetic stuff. This is one thing that changed from the 9 to the 10. You ended up with that that Google Mag, whatever they call it. I forgot what they called it. It was something with the magnets. But you end up with a 15-watt wireless, and this year you get 25-watt wireless, which is nice, no doubt. I'm digging that. I like that. And there you go. There's just not really much in the way of a difference in hardware between the 9, the 10, and the 11 that warrants a price jump that big. And so I'm just sort of stuck in a place where I'm like, well, I don't really know how I can justify in my mind buying one of those phones. Now, I do have the S25 Ultra, and I have been thinking about getting rid of this phone to trade in, and I would like to trade, but they're only going to give me $600 for this phone. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I might as well trade this in and get like a Z Flip or something from Samsung if I just want to get a newer phone. It just doesn't make a lot of sense why they're not going to offer me a little bit more. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm really disappointed because I wanted to have a Pixel Pro Fold this year. I like the phone's shape and size and feel. I like the cameras, but it looks like it's going to be a no-go for me again in 2026. But I don't know, maybe Pixel, Google, if you're watching, send me one of the phones. Let me review it. Let me get my hands on it and use it and talk about it. And I don't know, maybe I can see the reason why it makes sense to go ahead and just come out of pocket all the money that I need to get one. I don't know, but right now, from what I'm seeing on paper, I just can't find a way in my mind to justify it. Well, there you go, everyone. That's my sort of thoughts on the Google Pixel 11 Pro Fold. I would really like one. I would. I want to use it, review it, daily drive it, see how it works, to have the whole Google Pixel experience. But at this point, I don't think it's going to happen again this year. And I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna see if I can figure out some way to get my hands on one. If the Google Pixel team is out there and you see this, you hear this, reach out. I would really love to get one and try it and use it, even if it's just to borrow it for a month and test it out and send it back. I would really like to just kind of get that experience and share that with my audience. But right now, it's hard to justify that price difference, the price gap between the 9, the 10, and the 11, when I'm not really seeing any significant hardware improvements that warrant that price difference. I see that you guys have done some really wonderful things with software, but it seems to me that I can get all of those improvements with the previous models. I don't need to have the 11 in order to get some of those or all of those software improvements. So yeah. Anyways, you guys, that's it. I'm going to leave links to, my stuff down below in the video description so you can check it out. If you want to check out the Google Pixel series, I'll leave links to those two down below so you can check them out. Also, again, like I said, I'll leave links to my Amazon page, my social media contacts so you can reach me elsewhere and see other products and services I've reviewed over time. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and please subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram. And I am Larry with Today I Feel Like. Thanks for coming back to see me. Come back and see me soon. And until next time, love, peace, and hair grease. Peace.